Hello everyone, my name is Mario Facas Spirit and welcome to the channel. So today's video is going to be about, I'm going to talk about the sitcom Bewitched. And what I want to talk about is like, how did we get in the situation that we're in today where a lot of guys don't want to date girls, right? So men going their own way, right? So, I mean, we can't, like, for me, it's just, it doesn't make sense to say, oh, women this, women that, and I'm going my own way. It doesn't make much sense. There's a reason why we got to the place that we are today, right? And I think, and to me, it's important to see that, to understand how we got to we are today, and then take steps forward to fixing what has been done, okay? So that's why I want to talk about this sitcom named Bewitched. The last video I did on the Partridge Family. Like we all know that Hollywood is used to promote a narrative, right? So basically, in a sense, brainwashing, right? So what they do is they drop little seeds in movies, right, and or TV shows or whatever, even in commercials, right? To this is what's acceptable behavior in society, this and that, and people, you know, they want to be part of a group, they want to be accepted, so they go along with this stuff. And sometimes even something inside them says, you know, you shouldn't do it because they want to be a part of this group, right? They want to be accepted, they go along with it, right? So basically, I'm not the only one when saying that. There's a lot of psychologists are saying this. Like a lot of people with a high level of education are saying that Hollywood is used to brainwash society, to spread a certain narrative, right? So in understanding that, to me, I find it interesting. I like watching old shows now because they're a lot better than the shows they have today. They're a lot more lighthearted, and at the same time, it's fun to see. Like that wasn't the beginning of the brainwashing, but you could see how it was happening back then. Not as much as it is today, but you could see. I don't want to say started, but it was in a sense kind of the beginning, not the very beginning, but in a sense kind of the beginning, right? So let's take the show called Bewitched, right? So basically, the show ran from September 17th, 1964 to March 1st on to March 1972. So that's actually pretty good. It ran for 8 years. It started 4 years before I was born, and the first few years was in black and white. So you can see how it was really like in a time where people were just starting to get used to, let's say, technology. They were getting TVs because there wasn't no color TV yet at the time. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like today where people have cell phones. It's not. So people were just starting to get used to like having this kind of technology, right? So it was a great way for certain groups of people, if you want to you know, to plant certain seeds, right? So let's just see what the show is about. So basically, you have a mortal, which was a husband named Darren, and then you had his wife, which was a witch named Samantha, right? So basically, they get married, and the thing is that with Darren, he doesn't want her to use her powers to like make supper, this and that, you know what I mean, like to clean up the house or whatever. He wants her to live like a normal, like mortal life, right? He doesn't want her to use her powers. So now you got her mother, which plays a lot in the show, right? She doesn't like her husband, right? So there's always an issue between Samantha and her mother because Samantha loves her husband and the mother doesn't like him because she wanted her daughter to marry a warlock, which she didn't, right? So and one thing that is in this too, and it doesn't matter which side of the fence you stand on this, but it's important to look at it. A lot of things they talk about is mixed marriages, okay? So the witches and the warlocks didn't agree with mixed marriages, right? So anyway, so so that's basically how it goes. And then every show they have their situations and all that, right? And you know, what I mean, she uses her powers which she's not supposed to. Then he tells her not to, this and that, right? So it's actually a pretty good show, even though you can see where they really started to brainwash society, right? So. And when with Samantha, I thought they did a really good job with her character. Like, she's very cute, very adorable. Like, I mean, I can see her as my wife. I mean, if she was my wife, I wouldn't be telling her to hold back on her powers and just say, use your power, but be more discreet, right? We don't need anybody to know about this stuff, right? But but anyway, so let's pick. Okay, so there's a few things that stand out. So the one is this. So now you have a household, and you got the man and the woman. So, but biologically, normally the man is the power in the house. He's the head of the household. He's the top of the food chain, right? But not in this show here. Basically, she's the top of the food chain because just a snap of her fingers, she can make her husband freeze in one spot. She could turn him into a donkey if she wanted to, right? So that's one thing you gotta look at. So already they're planting the seeds that women could be more powerful than men, right? And this is started back this in 1964, okay? So when they do this stuff, it's not just done overnight. Like girls today did not get the way they are today to just yesterday. They didn't just start last week. This has been going on for years, decades, and they've been planning this, right? So we're right there. You see that part there. So that's a major red flag there, right? So now so now I want to pick just one show, one episode to talk about, right? You can talk about a lot of episodes, but just this one here. So at this point here, in this episode here, her father has not met her husband, right? And both her and her mom know this, and then the father's coming over to meet her husband. So supposedly this guy, her father, is a real bad guy, right? Like he's like you know, if he gets upset, I mean, look out, like it's bad, right? And he's like highly powerful warlock, right? So they keep emphasizing on this, right? And she asks her husband Darren to stay away on a business thing or whatever, just so she could talk to her father first, so he did that, so she could cool him down, right? So they prop you up, they prep you up for this, right? So finally, the father shows up, right? And, you know, they start talking, and she's like, oh, you know, I hope he doesn't get upset, this, that, blah, 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 right? So finally, she ends up telling him. So now he starts to snap a little bit, right? So vases are exploding, things are flying across the room, right? So now her mother, right? She goes to Sam's father. She says, you know, calm down, control yourself, this and that, right? So he tries to use his powers on her, but she resists him, right? So he goes, wow, Endora, you become a lot more powerful, this and that, right? So there you go. So now you got in this mixed marriage between Sam and her husband, she's more powerful, right? So the woman's more powerful than the man, and now within the witch and warlocks, the witch has gotten just as powerful as the warlock because she can resist the warlock. So you can see the seeds that are being planted here, right? So, you know, we look at the women that are today. Well, what kind of brainwashing have they gone through to be where they are today, right? It's easy to sit there and go, oh, like point your finger at them, right? It's this, that, get all upset. Yeah, that's really easy to do. But why are they doing what they're doing? They didn't birth themselves. They didn't raise themselves. They were influenced by their parents first and foremost. That then, you know, their families, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, grandparents, and then society, and of course Hollywood, government, and whatever else, school system, right? So I look in this show here, okay? So what I do is I want to see who wrote these shows, who produced them and all that, right? So it was created by Soul Sachs, right? And then it was directed by William Asher. Yeah, so it was created by Soul Sachs and directed by William Asher. So that's two males, okay? Then I looked through all the producers. Everything is male. They're all male. So it is men that had brainwashed women to believe that they could be more powerful than men, or they could be just as equal as men, right? And and that brought us to where we are today. It was the same thing in the Partridge Family. Men wrote those shows that disillusioned women to think the way that they think today. So when people from guys, from men going their own way, well, but before you get too worked up about women, take a look at who brainwashed them to think that way. It was us. We did it. Men. Right? Their fathers, men, all these male actors, they're all complicit to this. Okay? And I'm going to talk about more stuff later about commercials and all that. Not today, but we men support this kind of stuff. When men enable women to believe in what they believe in, and when men actually do the brainwashing, like over here, this is back in 1964. They're the ones doing this. No women was involved in creating this show. There was not that many women in Hollywood doing any kind of high executive decisions. They were all men. They were pretty much all men. So if we're gonna get, so if anybody is too worked up about women today, well, take a good look who taught them to act that way. We did. So, anyways, again, like I said before, this is not about pointing fingers. It's about seeing what happened to us, because not only women that got brainwashed, men that got brainwashed as well. So, so why I do this is to look at how we got brainwashed, to look at what happened to us, and for now to take steps forward. And then it's not going to happen tomorrow, but we have to take steps forward to fix what has happened. Remember, they've been doing this for years, decades. They've been doing this. So it's going to take decades to fix this. So, but most important, you have to get on board, right? Pointing fingers ain't going to help. Don't get involved in any unhealthy relationships, obviously, right? You don't need to be involved in any toxic relationships. Nobody needs that. But at the same time, be careful on your judging. That does not help us fix what our forefathers have done in the past. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Have a good day, and we'll see you next video. Goodbye.